My name is Jacob Larson, and this is the Common Sense Show. You heard a little bit different intro music there because apparently I showed up and Theron's telling me that the station's been falling apart this last week.
Everything is melting down all at once.
So I have my intro music is here somewhere, but
somewhere.
It's not, yeah, but it's not playing right. Okay, well today's show is going to be kind of odd anyway because it's just me and Theron again, and no special guests. Got a lot of feelers out there for guests, but bottom line is most people are putting me off until January type of deal. So all sorts of good stuff coming in January. Hopefully, we'll see how that turns out. But right now, I got some quick info for you. There's a small company called the Downtown Tree and Garden, located in Eugene, that does tree pruning, edging, weeding, bark mulch, landscape renovation, and remodeling. They are licensed, bonded, and insured. Owner is a guy by the name of Melvin Schneider. I had them do some work at my mom's house. It turned out great. They did a great job, and the prices are reasonable. So if you need some work done or would like to get an estimate, give Mel a call. His number's 541-741-8856. That number again is 541-741-8856. Ask for Mel. Last week we talked about the war on men. I brought up an article that had been sent to me written by Susan Venker. It was published on November 26, 2012, and I would highly recommend looking it up. Key things on that article were that men and women shouldn't compete with each other while in a relationship, that it's okay for men to be men and women to be women. Stephen Colbert, with the Colbert Report, made fun of it and attempted to demonize Venker for her views. It is my belief that Colbert did women a disservice by minimizing good advice that could help them out in their relationships. It was a total disgrace and totally typical of the liberal media. They take good advice, honest assessments, and truth that will help you live a better life, and they twist it, make fun of it, or belittle it in an effort to keep you lost right where you're at. So any thought, any hope that someone has of correcting their bad behavior or recognizing something wrong in their life that needs changed is totally lost. Then I shared a blog I had written a few years ago called January. We talked about giving during the holiday season, how many people, churches, various organizations go out of their way to donate to the less fortunate, and that it's a good thing, but that we need to continue to think about all along those lines throughout the entire year, that the need for things doesn't just end in December, but that there is still a real need that takes place in January, a need for clothing, food, and a warm bed. Those needs are still present in January. That when you give, you should give freely, and do your best to do it in secret. See, that is how it should be done. And even though many people that are listening may feel inclined to point the finger or think in some way that they are exempt from what I'm saying, make no mistake, I'm talking to you. Soon we will have a new year. Very soon we'll have the new opportunity to get it right. So regardless of what you've done this year, regardless of any absent-mindedness you may have had, this new year you can remember January. Choose to remember January. Consider the people around you and see what they're going through. Make a real difference this year. And if not, you deserve to get your head cut off. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. Okay, so we've got some new things to cover today. It's just me and Theron, like I mentioned before. If you have any questions for Theron or myself during the show, please call in at 541-284-7953. Once again, that number is 541-284-7953. Give us a call.
Don't be shy. Call in.
Tell us what you think.
That's right.
I got to be honest with you. I think, the statement of people getting their heads cut off, I think that just might be my thing from now on. From now on, if anybody does something wrong, I'm simply going to look at them and say, you deserve to get your head cut off.
Oh, there you go.
If they don't do exactly right. Okay, so this is the thing. I'm not totally excited about the subject matter of today. I think it kind of sucks because it's the same stuff. They do it every year. Blah blah blah. But frankly, it pisses me off. So I thought I should probably talk about it, do a show on it, and then we'll just go from there. So it's a holiday season, and people are all talking about Christmas and the holidays. So we, of course, need to talk about the commercialization of Christmas, and then possibly the
Which
war
drives
on
me
Christmas.
crazy.
Okay, but this is the thing. what exactly is that?
The commercialization of Christmas?
Commercialization of Christmas. What exactly is that? Now, before you get all whatever, I want to read a blog real quick.
All right, go.
Okay, this is my blog.
You bet.
This is one I wrote back in 2010 because everybody's got their concept of commercialization of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
But before I read this blog, I want to ask one thing. How many lights does it take for it to become commercial in your eyes?
How many lights?
How many lights? I mean, if you have 50 lights, if you only put up 50 lights, are you okay? You're not commercializing things. If you put up 51 lights, does that mean you're commercializing things? Is it 100 lights? Or is it like, the National Lampoon thing with Chevy Chase and the Christmas Vacation is 25,000 lights? Is that commercialization of Christmas?
I didn't even
now,
think
don't
about
even
it.
don't even answer. Don't even answer because I'm going to read this blog first.
All right.
Okay, but that's my point. If anybody out there, listening, can tell me how many lights it takes, before someone's actually commercializing Christmas, I want you to call into the station, 541-284-7953, because I'm guessing none of you sons of guns can do that. Okay, so here's the blog. December 16th, 2010. The commercialization of Christmas, ? Well, it's that time of year again. The specific time that once a year we choose to recognize and celebrate the birth of Christ. As always, as one could predict, I have heard discussions ranging from the date being wrong, the history being secular-based, to the ominous thought that Christmas has become too commercial, quote unquote. As far as the specific date, I don't care. I don't care if December 25th is the right date, or if it's in July or January, April, whatever. Pull all the information you want, citing the correct dates, and I think it really has no bearing on how or why it's being celebrated. At least no. I think it's a total cop-out. As far as it being a secular holiday in the past, it's not now. Too bad for you if you're an unbeliever. You still have a national holiday. It's called April Fool's Day. And you can still celebrate it anyway. But the implied commercialization of Christmas has always kind of bothered me a bit. Are people buying more things during this time of year? Sure. Are we seeing more advertisements, sales promotions, discounted items, get it now marketing? Sure. But it seems to me that the very things that make the holiday special, the very things that make this holiday great, are the very same things that people use to claim of its commercialization. If you ask the question, is Christmas commercialized? People will most emphatically cry, yes. Then they'll point to the lights, the decorations, the cost of the trees, the gifts that people are buying as empirical proof that the belief they are founding their response in is correct. But is it? Is it the things in which we use to celebrate the birth of Christ that commercializes the holiday? Or is it the attitudes and behaviors we present when we are giving and doing those things? See, I enjoy Christmas. I love the lights. I love walking the malls, shops, and stores when everything's all decorated and lit up. I think it's great. I enjoy the soft music of Christmas carols being heard throughout the various places I go during this time. I enjoy making a list of people that I want to give gifts to or send cards to, and spending time and efforts searching for or making that special gift. I think it's great to have big, elaborate dinners with family and friends. I think it's the one time of year that people are actually thinking about other people, even if it's something as simplistic as a gift. For some, it's the one time of year that their entire family actually sits down and eats together. How pathetic is that? People are actually conscious of the poor and needy. It even makes the news. So do I think that by doing all those things, we are taking away from Christ's birth? Not at all. I believe that Christ truly is the reason for the season. I don't believe he would want us to spend our entire time in prayer. I think he would want us to remember his birth, his life, and his death by remembering, caring for, and enjoying each other. And that is what I think it's all about. I don't think the method and the manner in which we choose to celebrate his birth hinges on how many lights we do or don't display, or whether or not we put up a tree. I don't think Christ is it all that concerned with the cost or dollar value of the gifts we exchange or how much time we spend at the mall? I think his only concern, his only question would be, why don't we behave this way throughout the year? You see how I tied that in? Christ agrees with me. You get that? Christ agrees with me. So I'll continue here. Box the lights. Remove the decorations. Silence the carolers. Where is your spirit of giving in January? March. Where is your acknowledgement and concern for your fellow man in August? Why aren't you looking for that special gift to give, that blessing to bestow in June? Christ's birth serves as a reminder to do that. So is Christmas commercial? Only if you're totally missing the point. Only if you're so obsessed with the things that you fail to understand or recognize the reason. But as with most things, that isn't always made clear or evident based on what is seen. That spirit of Christmas, the true meaning behind it and what it represents, isn't evident in the amount of gifts or the size of the display. It's located in a place where only Christ knows of its sincerity, in the hearts and minds of men. It's incorrect to assume that because a gift is given without a high dollar price tag, that it's been given with the correct spirit in mind. It's equally foolish to assume that because someone has spent a lot of money on a gift, that it was for vanity purposes or done out of commercialization. After all, is the life we all live and engage in throughout the course of the year not commercial? Is not the vanity of the job we have, the cars we drive, the clothes we wear, still not a concern? Of course it is. But during Christmas, instead of thinking about ourselves and what we have, we turn that focus on others. And that is exactly what Christ would want. So don't allow people to stand up on their soapbox in self-righteous indignation to declare that Christmas is less of a holiday due to its supposed commercialization. It's not. It serves as a declaration to the world that a Savior was born long ago and that because of him we have grace, mercy, and forgiveness. And no amount of ribbons, bows, boxes, or lights is ever going to change that.
Well done.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, so I probably should have let you say what you needed to say because I kind of answered all those things you were going to bring up anyway, and now we have nothing to talk about for the next 45 minutes.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening.
Yeah. Have a good day.
Right.
So seriously, okay, so you think you had a problem, and I've got other things that I pulled. You know, the general consensus out there is that Christmas is commercialized. Right. And you were going to say the same thing.
I was going to say the same thing, but it didn't have anything to do with lights.
Okay, but once again, okay, fine. Say what you're going to say.
No, for me, it's about well, like what you covered in there. You know, the commercials and the buy now and
buy one get one free.
Yeah, shop till you drop and
what was the Black Friday,
right?
Which actually moved to Black Thursday evening,
right?
At like 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So people were stuffing down turkey dinners so they could get out and shop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think with the commercialization of Christmas, in my mind, it's totally ignoring what Christmas is about, and it's more about getting to the mall and getting these deals. Okay,
but people do enjoy those things, and that's
Sure.
what makes Black Friday or Black Thursday evening so successful. People enjoy it. That's part of the holiday season that they're celebrating.
Mm-hmm. I understand that.
So why is that a bad thing?
It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just I think a lot of people, in fact, overlook the real meaning of Christmas because they're so inundated with all of these, what's become a part of our culture to go shopping.
And that's typically, when you're talking about exchanging gifts, obviously, we're not cracking out, wood chisels and tools and stuff and making stuff.
Right.
You can still do that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But some people who, people get criticized if they have money because they go out and buy gifts.
Right.
But in the same token, there's some people that aren't mechanically inclined and they don't have the ability to make gifts.
Right.
So, I think the spirit of giving, it needs to be present regardless of how you choose to show it. And I think that if people decide that they want to go to the mall and they want to see Christmas lights and they want to shop, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see that as a bad thing.
I don't necessarily see anything wrong with that either. But my basic point is
that's not the spirit of Christmas,
right? That's what becomes more important.
So how would you clarify, or what would you call the commercialization? I mean, it's simply commercials. Are how many times can I say are? Are the local stores and shops not supposed to advertise their sales?
No, of course they are.
I'm confused, man.
Yeah,
I'm totally confused. Apparently we don't have a commercialization of Christmas.
Okay,
it doesn't exist. It's okay. I want to know. Listen, call into the show 541-284-7953. What's the determining factor here? What makes your Christmas commercial and other Christmas is not? What is it? I mean, how many lights?
I don't think of it, as a personal situation. I just think as in general.
But it is a personal thing. I mean, this is a personal thing. When somebody says Christmas is commercial, right, they are using not only the lights and the different Christmas decorations and the Christmas music and the advertisement and the gifts and stuff like that. They're using those things to justify their statement, what they're saying. They're solidifying their belief by what they see. They're going, look at these things. This is all commercial. This is what it's. People are missing the true spirit of Christmas because of this. I mean, number one, I'm not quite sure that those type of descriptions are accurate. And number two, I don't see how that really affects their Christmas. I mean, if they don't want to go to the store and shop, then they just don't have to. I mean, why would they criticize other people for doing so? What makes their Christmas so much better than mine, I guess, is my thing. How can they sit there and look at me and say, oh, you're obviously commercial. You're not getting the true spirit of Christmas because you spent, a couple grand on gifts this year or something like that. Oh, it's too commercial. You spent too much money. How can they sit there and call my Christmas commercial simply because of the gifts I chose to buy or the time in which I chose to shop?
I think most people say Christmas is quote-unquote commercialized as a general sense. It's not necessarily my Christmas or your Christmas, but in general.
In general. So, basically we're supposed to all sit around, drink eggnog, and exchange gifts that we made or pat each other on the back and go, gee, I really love and care about you, bro. Would that make Christmas better? I mean, is that what we're talking about? We're talking about eliminating the presents, cutting the commercials in half. Because, see, this is my thing. It's like, unless you can specifically clarify what exactly you're talking about,
right,
then you should shut up about it. I'm so sick. I'm so sick of hearing about Christmas is commercialized. Bite me. You know what I mean? I enjoy shopping. I like the Christmas music. It's once a year.
And I think it's also
go jump in a lake.
People just regurgitating what they hear in the media.
See, and that's what I think too.
Yeah.
That's what I think too. I think it's stupid. Okay, so Soda Head. It's a website online. It says opinions. Everybody's got one. One of the topics that was posted December 5th, 2012, posted by this guy named Brady Hacklesford. He put, is Christmas too commercialized? And, of course, he's got people going, yes, 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 yes. I mean, you see the thread. It's all yes, yes. Everybody's just like, lemmings. I learned what that term was, lemmings.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's like I can see it.
Yes.
A bunch of little birds jumping out. Yes, 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 yes. And, God, who told me that? Oh, guy named Clark Gillespie. I'm going to actually have to bring him up. He actually gave me the definition. Actually, he didn't give me the definition. He called me a lemming. He called me a lemming because I had an iPhone, and then I had to look up the definition because I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know to be insulted. I don't feel insulted because I love my iPhone. But he called me a lemming, so I looked it up. But these guys are lemmings because they're all going, yes, yes, yes. Is Christmas too commercialized? This one guy, and I don't even know, they can list their opinions. They can use different screen names. This guy put on here, his name's Ninja Man, which I'm assuming is not his real name. He said yes. He said, oh, yes, if I remember correctly, Halloween wasn't even over yet, and Walmart was already advertising for Christmas stuff. Seems like it's all about money and gifts anymore. I believe for a lot of people that isn't the case, but that is what seems to be. That's what it seems to be looking around. Okay, so he wrote that. I didn't. Lady Jen, she says, very much so. So, yes, way too commercialized, way too secularized. It's become secularized, too. And then somebody goes by Rand, says, if you're a Christian, if you're a businessman, or a materialist hedonist, there's never too much stuff. See, some of this stuff, it's like they shoot out one-liners. It's like, man, there's not even a whole lot of information to go off there. I mean, it's just absurd. And then this person named Jan says, I also wish shops were banned from selling Christmas things until December.
That's a little extreme.
Dude, what the heck?
Yeah. Hello.
This guy, Terabytes, it's getting ridiculous. Christmas in July sale, 25% off. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with that. Okay, so then this guy, American Patriot, Christmas has just about lost its meaning unless you're talking about present day. In fact, many people on SH, whatever that means, would love nothing more. Oh, wait a minute. Soda Head. Would love nothing more than take the celebration of Christ's birth and turn it into a big give me day for them. So he's saying that it's all about presents. Then we got this Brady Shackelford, which I believe was the person who created the post. He said, I'm a very religious person. I don't like any kind of commercialization when it comes to Christmas. I don't even like decorating the house, putting up a Christmas tree, or giving presents. None of these things have anything to do with Christmas. Do you see what I'm saying? The examples these people are giving are the very things that make Christmas Christmas.
Yeah.
Putting up a tree.
Yeah.
Putting up lights, decorating the house.
And I suppose when he was a kid, there was no tree, no decorations.
Apparently not. You think it's a Freudian thing where they haven't they've grown up with being abused as children and didn't get any gifts? You think that's what it is as adults?
I don't know. I think it's more bah humbug. I'm an adult now, and I don't enjoy it as much. So
I think that like I said, the very things that they point at as being too commercialized are the very things that make Christmas Christmas.
Right.
And I don't mean Christmas in the sense of the spirit of giving and stuff like that, but I mean the holiday is celebrated by exchange of gifts.
Right.
And those things are done typically under a Christmas tree. The tree, if you're a Christian, actually represents something. The lights that you put up actually represent something. I mean, all these things have meaning. And so you have these people out there that are talking about how things are. All businesses have done has simply recognized a holiday, right, and they're marketing to it. They're filling a need. If there wasn't people showing up on Black Friday wouldn't exist.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It just wouldn't happen. It's called Black Friday for a reason. I mean, it's moneymaker. People show up. After Thanksgiving, they decide to go out and shop. I don't see why that's a bad thing. I don't participate in Black Friday. It's not my thing. But I know people that do, and I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
Except for the ones that actually hurt each other and stuff like that and get upset over gifts.
Yeah, people are crazy.
So I think that's a little odd. Okay, another article. A guy by the name is Christmas Getting Too Commercialized, posted December 5th, 2012 by CCC Voice. Devin Palashik, staff writer. Ask almost any child today what their favorite aspect of the holiday season is, and they will tell you it's the presents they're going to get. It seems that every year people are increasingly becoming more obsessed with the commercialized Christmas our society has created, rather than focusing on what Christmas should really be about. Blah, blah, blah. Give me a break. I'm not going to read the whole thing. He skips through. Society has let Christmas become commercialized by big companies. It's big companies' fault. You see there? It's not our fault. We didn't commercialize it. Big companies did. See, and that's the thing that blows my mind, because literally if the companies didn't have people to buy their stuff, it wouldn't work.
Right.
People are engaging in these things because they enjoy it. So it's almost like these party pooper commercializationists. Is that a new term we can call them, commercializationists of Christmas?
Sure.
These guys suck. They just suck. I mean, me personally, I think they suck.
But I do understand their point.
They should just shut up.
I can understand their point to some degree.
I can't.
Because
it makes no sense.
It does kind of drive me crazy. You're listening to the radio.
How many lights, Darren?
It's not the lights. It's
How
not
many
so
lights?
much. It's
If
not
I
so much-
okay, so I can put up. Listen, you're telling me it's not about the lights. You're telling me that at my house, if I took 25,000 lights, just like they did on National Lampoon, and I put it up all over my house, you telling me that I wouldn't have people criticize me over how many lights I put?
Of course, there's going to be some people criticizing
Yeah,
you.
they're
You cannot
the
escape
commercializationists.
Well, sure, but you can't escape
Well,
being
sure.
criticized. No matter what you do, somebody's going to criticize you.
Well, me, yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm me.
But for me, it's not about the lights. For me, the lights is part of the culture, part of the Christmas season, putting
Right.
up the tree, all that.
But my point is, people point to the lights, and they use that as their descriptor of why it's commercialized. And I think it's horse crap. I think it's BS. I think if I have 50 lights on my house, then I've got 50 lights on my house. If I've got 25,000 lights on my house, which would be totally awesome, by the way, and I'd love to do it, and someday I'm going to. But I mean, the bottom line is, if I had 25,000 lights on my house, that doesn't mean in my brain that I'm any more commercialized than if I had 50 lights on my house.
I don't see it like that either.
Unless you want to sit there and compare dollars and cents on how much it costs to buy each package of lights, because obviously 25,000, I think that would be like a special order thing or something. And then I'd have to call John Peckham, my buddy, and have him put them up for me, because that would be a miserable job for $100, 25,000 lights. That would be awesome. But you see what I'm saying? So you say it's not about the lights; it's about the damn lights.
Not for me, it's not.
Not for you. I'm talking
Okay.
general.
I don't know. I don't know what other people. I suppose. Yeah.
I want
some
other people to call in 541-284-7953. You tell me if it's about the lights, because my thing is it's about the lights.
It's not for me about the lights. It's about the.
It's about the lights, the
It's
trees,
about the commercials.
the
It's
rabbits,
about
ribbons, boxes, bows,
right. No, none of that.
all that.
For me, not.
That's all commercialization of Christmas. Ask anybody on the street.
Okay.
That's what they're going to say.
All right. That's not the way I see it.
I
Because
know,
I
because
can
it's-
remember as a kid, my mom would totally go all out and decorate the house with the tinsel and I forget what it's called.
Garland?
Yep.
And you have a problem with that? Did you do the popcorn?
Not
thing
at
on the
all.
string?
No, it was awesome. That's what we did when we were kids. Is
And
we
that-
would
and that-
string popcorn and all of that. And that was never, that's why I guess I don't see it as being commercialized. That was just part of Christmas culture.
You don't see that part of it being as commercialization, right? You see it as being
No.
Christmas culture.
When I think of commercialization, I think of those, Christmas songs, the traditional Christmas songs that get made into a Walmart commercial, for example, or any other, big box store, what have you. They take Christmas songs, change the words to them, make it for their.
So they are okay, but that is a very. I mean, that's primarily
That's one little part.
advertising that corporations are doing to market and solicit products that they're catering to a specific group of people that during a specific time.
Right.
That in your mind is commercialization.
Somewhat, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but what's wrong with that? See, I
Not
mean,
anything
in
so
one
much
sense,
wrong
I could
with it. It's just
on
annoying.
one sense, I could say, okay, I see that, but on the other sense, they do that throughout the year with all sorts of other stuff, not just Christmas. Why don't we talk about the commercialization of Halloween? I mean, have you seen a huge change in Halloween lately? The last few years, and maybe I don't have any numbers to back up what I'm saying,
Okay.
because I haven't even looked, but I would bet you money the Halloween holiday has boomed in terms of commercialization. I mean, it has absolutely gone through the roof. And it's just a wild guess.
Okay, in what way?
In what way?
Yeah, I mean,
I would say Halloween sales.
okay.
The sheer number of candy and in costumes and party stuff, I bet those numbers have gone through the roof.
You think?
I do. I
'Cause,
do. I think if there's any type of harpooning of a holiday in terms of corporation, man, it's Halloween. I mean, for the longest time as a kid, I mean, it just kind of plunked along. It was Halloween, no big deal. Now, I mean, it is big time. It's big time. You can buy all sorts of stuff for Halloween. So why aren't we talking about the commercialization of Halloween? Are we actually missing the actual meaning of Halloween? What is the meaning of Halloween?
I don't know what the meaning
Getting candy, right?
I guess.
Christmas is about, okay, let's get this right. Christmas is about getting presents. Halloween's about getting candy.
Mm-hmm.
Easter's about finding eggs.
Right.
Okay, so
I think probably some people are more offended about the commercialization, quote unquote, of Christmas, because especially if they're of a religious nature, the religious people. All right, they take it.
I disagree, man.
Okay. Well,
finish what you're saying.
That's what I'm thinking. That's why some people get upset about it. Why, nobody gets upset over the commercialization of Halloween because it's not a religious holiday.
Okay.
So I think a lot of people get offended about the religious part of it that gets overlooked.
Okay, but this is the thing. Like I said before, I'm a believer. I'm a Christian. Okay, the tree has meaning. The lights have meaning. The exchange of gifts has meaning. Those things have meaning. And I think it goes a little bit deeper than that. I think the commercialization of Christmas, and actually we're gonna get into this, but I think it has more to do with secularists trying to throw jabs at the holiday. So we got a break coming up, right?
We can do a break.
Okay, right. We're gonna do a quick couple-minute break. We'll be right back, folks. This is Jacob Larson. You're listening to the Common Sense Show, and we are back. We got me and Theron here in the station. We're talking about the commercialization of Christmas, which is not exactly my most exciting topic. But bottom line is, Theron brought up something that was, I wouldn't call it interesting, but it was somewhat intriguing there before the break. He mentioned that he thinks that when it comes to the commercialization of Christmas, that most people that have a problem with that would be faith-based people that think that they are actually taking from the holiday due to the commercialization of it. I disagree. I think it's more of a secular-based type of feeling, and people that are actually trying to throw jabs at the holiday because of its religious connotation basis. And I have proof.
Okay, bring it on. What do you got?
Okay, real quick, though. Call into the show, 541-284-7953. Call in and tell Theron that I'm right and he's wrong.
I dare you.
I was looking at, so I looked up all sorts of different blogs, read all sorts of different articles on this subject before I actually showed up today. I was going through different stuff, but I came across one. I mean, this guy literally went on and on and on for pages. I mean, he broke it down into... It's a blog titled "Liberal Reasons Not to Celebrate Christmas." Okay, and he broke it down into economic reasons, the environmental reasons, social reasons, and religious reasons. And I think that's all the reasons he has. But he literally just goes on, and then he cites different stuff. A guy by the name of Steve Kangas. You can probably Google that, look it up online. It was written back in 1998, so it's somewhat it's an old thing that he wrote, but it's just like I said. I chose to pull it out because the guy just goes on and on. Anyway, he starts out with telling people who he is. He says, "I'm a liberal. I do not celebrate Christmas. This isn't because I woke one morning to find green-skinned, evil-smiling, finger-drumming Grinch in my mirror. On the contrary, I still celebrate this season's high festivity and generosity, but on a different date, the winter solstice, usually December 21st, with a different set of customs." See, this guy's all about, hey, it's got to be the right day. It's got to be the right time. The reasons I've rejected Christmas are economic, environmental, social, and religious. The fact is, Christmas today has become a thoroughly illiberal event at odds with everything that liberals stand for. Now, I would agree with him to a certain extent there. I mean, Christmas isn't really about, it's not really a political thing, even though some people like to make it that.
Sure.
I know that in terms of different political pundits and stuff like that, I mean, they really use the holiday to kind of demonize or promote themselves. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to talk about whether or not Obama had a Christmas tree, whether Bush had a Christmas tree. So there is a political aspect there. People try to use it and politicize it a little bit. His economic reasons, he says, polls show that many people believe Christmas has become too commercialized. See, this is an argument that's been going on for years, bro. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's lame. It should be a time of family celebration, friendship, spirituality, and reflection. Unfortunately, almost all methods of celebrating Christmas nowadays require spending money. I mean, do we not do that? Do we not spend money, but still have family celebration, friendship, spirituality, reflection. Are we still not? We're still doing that, Darren.
We're still spending money.
So what?
Yeah.
So what?
I know.
We're still doing family celebration,
he probably
friendship,
doesn't
spirituality, and reflection.
He probably doesn't have any problem with the 4th of July. People going out and buying.
This guy works for
$100s.
minimum wage. He probably has trouble. I mean, this is the reality. This is his argument with Christmas. It isn't about anything else. That's what it is. He goes on to say, so great is the social pressure to spend that 44% of all Americans feel they spend too much on Christmas gifts. In 1998, which is when this was written apparently, Americans will spend between $160 billion to $200 billion on presents, more than 2/3 the defense budget. That's about $600 to $800 per person. Now, I'm guessing those numbers are a lot higher now. So over time, we've become actually more commercialized, right? Because we're basing it all on dollars and cents?
I guess.
That's what I'm asking. I mean, according to this guy, I mean, it's all based on his definition of commercialization has to do with, how much you spend. So this apparently we're more commercialized now than we've ever been.
Okay.
Few people realize that Christmas produces more income inequality than any other time of year. More income inequality than any other time of year. This guy's a socialist, obviously. Everything should be equal. There are two main reasons why Christmas dramatically worsens income inequality. The first is concentrated profits. Everyone may trade wealth at Christmas in the forms of gifts, but the profits accrue to the few, namely retail stores. And not all retail stores either. A few large stores like Walmart, Kmart, and Target have been taking over the market in the last decade, while smaller stores find themselves increasingly disadvantaged. Much of this has to do with today's deregulated economy, which makes the rich richer and the poor poorer. Isn't this awesome? This is 1998, and this guy was a Wall Street protester, and he didn't even realize it. Seriously, the rich richer and poor poor. It's the same old song and dance, man.
Well, in a way, he does kind of have a point there. As somebody who used to own a retail store in a mall,
Explain it.
I hated Christmas time.
Really?
It
didn't help you? You didn't actually get sales? Wasn't the majority of your sales during Christmas time?
Okay, they were, but like, for example, Black Friday.
That sucked.
Black Friday is a corporate holiday.
And it sucked for you.
As far as I'm concerned. Right. If you're a small mom and pop, or
you can't compete, is that what you're saying?
You cannot compete. And, usually...
Well, why can't you have special sales on Black Friday?
Sure, I could, but I don't have the way of getting my message out there in front of a large group of people. And usually when people go do their Black Friday shopping, they've got a map. They're going to hit this store, this store, this store. Right?
Hey, you know what?
And so
some of those
go
maps aren't accurate, by the way. And some of them, if you don't read them, they don't do you much good.
Well, even if it's not a map, they've got an agenda. They're going to hit all these specific stores.
'Cause I don't
And
read
they
'em.
go to the main entrance of that store. They don't walk the mall. They go
I got in trouble for that
They
this
go
year.
out, and they're
Not
gone.
reading a map.
So if you have a
Dora had it
little
right.
store,
What?
if you have a little store yourself, you're getting up early and you're working there all day long, and your sales are not any different than any
Okay,
other
but
day.
if you're a little store and you know that you have, I mean, obviously it's about location.
Right.
So I mean, if you're closer to one of those big stores that people are going in on those Black Fridays and stuff, I mean, Black Friday is going to help you, and your sales are going to go through the roof. That
Maybe
time.
if you're lucky.
Well, you could put out a sign and face it towards Kohl's or something like that, or Walmart, and be like, come over here. I've got just as good as stuff, only not made in China.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. I'm just saying, for the small retailer, it's awful.
Small retailer is awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I could almost take issue with that, but I don't have anything to base it on because I've never been a small retailer.
Okay.
You have.
So that's where I say he's got a point.
Yeah,
But,
you have. So he says, I should point out that disproportionate share of small business owners are women, minorities, and working poor. It is liberal constituencies who are being hurt by these booms and busts that should compel liberals everywhere to spread out their spending for a whole year, especially among small businesses. So he's saying, we shouldn't buy, in bulk in one specific time throughout the year. We should do it throughout the course. We should spread out the course of the year. And I'm not really sure how that's even feasible when you're talking about a Christmas holiday, how that would even work.
Yeah.
You're supposed to start buying for gifts in January, apparently. I mean, it's a great idea, but
Yeah.
how many people are going to do that?
Not many.
No, I mean, it's just not going to. Let's see here. Another market failure is unacceptably high purchase of single-use items, such as a real Christmas tree, gift wrapping, artificial frost, crepe paper, party favors, and the like. Reusable and recyclable merchandise would save society money, but that would hurt the Christmas industry, which is why they don't market these items. Okay.
I think they
apparently,
do.
Apparently, I was going to say, I think they do. Apparently, this guy has never seen, fake Christmas trees. Because I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, when they first came out with a fake Christmas tree, I can remember my mom and dad going, "Oh my God, I'll never have a fake Christmas tree, and it's just hideous and blah blah blah." But and if you looked at them, they were ugly. Some of the Christmas trees you buy now that are fake, I mean, the darn things almost look like real trees, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, you can almost not tell the difference.
Right.
So, and that is 100% reusable. Now, obviously, those trees are going to cost you like, I don't know, $1,500.
Really?
Some of them are expensive. The ones that look like real trees, they're expensive. And I would agree. Totally commercialized, it should be like $50, man.
Yeah.
Just so I can buy one. But I mean, outside of that, I mean, this guy's blowing smoke. There's all sorts of stuff that is, I mean, the wrapping paper, a lot of the wrapping paper nowadays, 100% biodegradable, recyclable, made on recycled paper. So in that aspect, it does good stuff. And then he goes into environmental issues, which, nobody cares about that, or at least I don't. Let's be honest. Social reasons, made in China. It's, he has a problem with, global economy type of stuff, and he goes in a little bit about that. Religious reasons, he goes on to religious reasons about how thousands of years before Christianity appeared, cultures around the world were celebrating a similar holiday. So, I mean, he's trying to tie it into that Christmas isn't actually for Christ's birth. It's about the winter solstice and all this other stuff. And hey, that's fine, whatever you want to call it. Put it in your pipe and smoke it. Then he goes, let's examine the implications of these facts. Everyone should have a historical gripe with Christmas, whether it's conservative, liberal, Christian, or non-Christian. And then he lays that out. I don't even care about that. Let's see here. So anyway, yeah. I mean, he blabbers on for a good 8 pages. Secular dude.
Yeah.
Commercialization of Christmas. That's what he's saying. And I think, and the reason I bring that up, because you'd asked about that, and it actually ties in perfectly, because I think, you hear about the annual war on Christmas.
I do.
Yeah. I don't think it's a war on Christmas. I don't think it's got jack to do with Christmas. I think it's a war on Christianity. What do you think about that? What do you think about those apples? Because I think it's about a war on Christians. See, I think it's okay for people to sit there and celebrate a winter solstice and sing holiday carols and stuff like that. But what really chaps people's backside, what really pisses off atheists and non-believers, is the mention or the celebration of Christ's birth.
Right.
That's what I think.
Right.
So I think if it was anything else, I mean, Santa Claus, yippee-ki-yay, man, deliver presents and stuff like that. But you stick out a nativity scene?
Right.
I mean, I've been reading, I don't even have the articles in front of me, but I've been reading it. I mean, there's been nativity scenes that have been stolen this year.
Mm-hmm.
They actually, and I think
that happens every year.
I think they do that every year, and they egg churches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the point of the matter is, I mean, they go on and on and on about it. Okay, so.
Well, it's just like, so you have atheists, okay, and they're offended by anything of any religious nature, all right? And
okay, finish what you're saying.
Now, go ahead.
Okay, so this is the bottom line. Okay, yeah. You got these non-believers. They're offended by anything of any religious nature. Okay, I think they're petty.
Yeah.
And I think they're D-bags.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's totally ridiculous. I mean, let's put it this way. You have done extensive traveling overseas.
I was going to throw something like that out there, too, because where I have been,
exactly,
there's a lot more religious tolerance. And so they like where I have been, they celebrate Muslim holidays, Buddhist holidays,
Right.
Christian holidays.
Right.
The banks are closed more than they're open.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say, you
it's
have
the
done
other
extensive
extreme.
traveling overseas.
Yeah.
I have done not as much,
Mhm.
but I've traveled overseas. I was in Bangladesh. I've been to Mexico. I mean, they have different customs, different things that they do. When you are overseas, do you run around and take issue with the stuff that you see?
Not at all.
Hell no.
And people are
That'll get you knocked out
they
and left in a gutter.
They deal with it. They tolerate each other. I can remember with this one time being in Indonesia, and on this one street, you had a Christian church, a Catholic church, a Muslim mosque, a Hindu.
Exactly.
And it's all on the same street.
But they're all throwing eggs at each other.
No, they're not. They're all very mindful and respectful of each other. That wouldn't happen here.
So what the heck we got going on? We got these people that get all pissed off because a Christmas tree goes up in some building, some place. I heard that there was a park. I don't remember the name of the park. It's let's see here. Where's the park? Some park down in California. They made them take the tree down. Made them take the tree down because I don't even see where it is in my notes. Palisades Park. There it is. Santa Monica City Council to end tradition of erecting nativity scenes or other displays in Palisades Park. What the hell? And then it's got here, the local secularists were thrilled. The free thinkers played the game of the religionists, and they outsmarted them. Annie Laurie Gaylor told the Huffington Post. They showed the Christian people of the city what it feels like to have a public park promoting views that offend your personal conscience. These views were on public property that were supposed to be owned equally by everyone. Give me a frickin' break. You see what I'm saying? It's just lame. I don't walk around, you know, you go to these different countries, and like I said, you and I both know, you go to these different countries, you keep to yourself, you mind your own business, other people are doing their things. I mean, that's how you stay out of trouble. Because, I mean, over there, I mean, you don't know what could go wrong.
Right.
Or what could happen. And, I mean, nobody wants to necessarily, I'm not necessarily, because there's a lot of people that jump on that and say, well, hey, we're living in our hometown. We don't want to feel this way. But the bottom line is, if the vast majority of the place that you live, you know, honors and promotes and respects Christianity or honors and wants to participate in a Christian or a Christmas holiday, frickin' let them. Let them. That doesn't mean you I mean, if you don't want to participate, don't participate. You know, I was over there. I mean, the Hindus, I've been to Hindu mosques and temples and say that, and they do the different prayers and stuff where they bow down. I mean, I didn't participate, but I'm not going to sit there and criticize them for that.
Right.
I mean, it's just not my thing. I'm not going to do it. So I think it's I think it's really, really weird. I mean, I think it's really weird, man.
Well, I think we have just this power struggle in general, you know. So you've got your secular crowd, your atheists that are going to be very upset over anything of a religious nature. And then on the other hand, you've got people who are more right-leaning or conservative or Christian or traditionalist, and they take issue with a lot of things, you know, that are a little left of center too. For example, accepting homosexuals because, you know, of what it says in their religious book.
Yeah, see, it's funny because I've actually posted something, and I don't have it in front of me because I didn't know this is the direction we were going to take, but I actually posted something on my Facebook wall that was in response to an article that I saw on some research or something that they've come up in terms of explaining how some people are homosexual, and I posted it as a question, you know, did God create homosexuality? And I mean, the thread's been going on, and I haven't participated too much because it kind of goes on, but that's actually going to be a topic of this show soon. I've actually got quite a few topics like that I plan on approaching. Right. You know, after the first of the year, I've got some feelers out trying to get some bodies in. That couple student groups from LCC that I'm hoping to bring in on the show that we're going to be addressing different topics like that. But that's actually, I mean, that's a good point.
So, you know, with both of those kinds of topics, you've got people on the left and people on the right who are very, you know, strong in their views, and they don't want to accept. You know what I mean? So there's this.
I think it's a little. I think it's a little petty.
Yeah.
I think it's a little petty, and it's like, seriously, you need to let it go.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not. I mean, the war on Christmas. People bring it up every single year. I mean, Christians bring it up every single year. You have John Stewart, you know, with the Daily Show or whatever his stupid show is. I mean, he's going on saying, it's not real. He's trying to paint it as not real. He's saying it's not the case. You know, and he makes
for some people it isn't. Some people it isn't.
He makes the joke. He's saying it doesn't exist. It's not real. He's saying that it's something fabricated by Fox News. And you know, if that was the case, then we wouldn't have these people arguing about Christmas trees and when they're put up and what their location is. If that was if the war on Christmas didn't exist, then we wouldn't have people complaining about nativity scenes. Obviously, there's people out there that get their panties in a bunch over certain things like that, and they got a problem with it. I think it has less to do with the actual holiday and more to do with Christianity. That's my thing. I don't think it's a war on Christmas. I think it's a war on Christians. How much time we got left? 6 minutes.
Wow,
is that
6
right?
minutes. Wow.
Okay, I'm going to run through. I'm going to do the Tarbosh segment of the show real quick. We'll have some stuff to wrap up. Tarbosh segment of the show. Worrying about the when and how of the fruit will not help your seeds grow any faster. But worry may jeopardize your ability to tend your seeds. So take note. Tend to your seeds and let it go. Success is obtained through attrition. Attrition. Now, I looked up that word, attrition. And I'll read it to you. There's some people that argue with me in terms of whether or not that word applies to success, but I think it does. Attrition is the act of rubbing together, the act of wearing or grinding down by friction, the act of weakening or exhausting by constant harassment, abuse, or attack. If you treated success that way, if you wore it down until eventually you succeeded, that's what I'm talking about. You have to be tenacious with your goals and dreams and never give up. But ultimately, you have to settle your mind into understanding the long haul and be willing to go the distance. Continue to do what you have to do on a daily basis, but don't allow the dreams and goals of the future affect your present. You got to enjoy now. And that is the Tarbosh segment of the show. It's really important when you're building and growing something to recognize the big picture of things. If you're waiting for your life to come into alignment 10 years from now, and you're thinking, I just got to hold off until then. I just got to hold off until now. I just got to do what I got to do from now. You're going to miss it. Life's about creating a balance. You have to have a balance. You have to have, some time to yourself, time spent with friends and family, time spent on business. When you're at business, you're going to work it hard. With your friends and family, you're going to appreciate the time. You're going to take advantage of that time. When you have alone time, you're going to do what you want to do in your alone time and focus on you. You have to have balance in life in order for life to operate and function properly. And that's the key. So don't get so worked up worrying about how things are going and whether or not they're moving fast enough and whether or not you're getting done what needs to be done. You need to kind of settle into the fact that this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And you gotta take the steps necessary to get there. So that's the point of everything. Quick info for you. Peckham Construction is still offering to install Christmas lights and remove Christmas trees during the holiday season. So if you have a house you'd like to get lighted but lack the means in which to do so, call John at 541-915-4747. His number's 541-915-4747. He'll even install 25,000 Christmas lights on a 3-story house for $100. He has a crew and the means to get those lights up for you, even if you have a multi-level house, and that's a good deal. And you don't have to do a thing. He'll come in and get your Christmas tree for you. He'll take it down, vacuum out the pine needles, and haul it off for $35 regardless of the size. His number again is 541-915-4747. His schedule during this time fills up quick, so don't take your time to call. Make sure that you get a call into him as soon as you can, so he can get you on his schedule. The number again, 541-915-4747. Ask for John. Guests on the show. If you would like to be a guest on the show, I'm always looking for new content and guests that would like to be on the show. I don't care what you're doing, what walk of life you've got, whether you're a business owner, if you work for somebody else. I want to hear from you. We don't have to have a specific topic. The topic is you. I'd like to know what you think about your life, how things are going, and why you do what you do. That interests me. If you want to be a guest on this show or you have a topic that you'd like for me to talk about on the show, email me, Jacob, Jacob, at buycommonsense.com, BUYCOMMONSENSE.com. commonsenseradioepisode8.com. If you'd like to be a sponsor on the show, we're always looking for new sponsors. Please go to www.buycommonsense.com. Click on the link to the show. Check out the sponsor section of the site. And that's what I know.
There you go.
What do you think?
I think it was a great show. That hour flew by awfully fast.
The hour did fly by fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically we have determined, just to cap, we got, what, a minute left?
Yeah.
Not quite a minute left?
Yeah.
Okay, just to wrap up. Okay, commercialization of Christmas, complete and utter BS. Theron agrees with me.
Yeah.
It is just a liberal attack on the holiday. So do what you do, enjoy the holiday, put up the lights you want, buy the gifts that you want, celebrate with friends and family, have a good time, enjoy celebrate the joy of Christmas. And then in terms of the attack or the war on Christmas, once again, total bunk.
Don't worry about it. Just
it's attack on
it.
Christianity.
All right.
It's attack on Christianity.
Just enjoy yourself and don't let anybody bring you down.
Exactly. Enjoy the holiday. Have a good one, folks. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week, same day, same time.